This is the Segway Xyber electric bike, and this thing goes 0 to 20 in 2.7 seconds and has a claimed peak power output of 6,000 watts when you have 2 batteries, but only 3,000 watts if you have 1 battery. Claimed top speed is 35 miles an hour, but probably more important than all those specs is just the way this thing looks, dude. This is probably one of the coolest looking electric bikes I've ever seen. List price is $3,299 in the link below this video. But don't buy this thing just yet. We gotta crack it open, take a closer look at it, then take it out on the tail heavy circuit. We gotta test the acceleration, test the top speed, see if this thing can ride on the sand.
Obviously, this is not the ideal place to be riding this.
See what kind of hills this thing can climb, and see whether or not it's worth the money. So if you decide to order it online in the link below this video, this is the giant box it's gonna show up in. So I'm actually really curious how hard it's gonna be to build this basically electric motorcycle. So it actually looks like we got a bunch of stuff we gotta put on there. So it looks like the fork and the front wheel are on. Wow. I gotta say, that thing looks nice. And from a distance, you might be thinking this looks like an electric motorcycle, but don't worry, we got crank arms for some pedals on this electric bicycle. And right away, we can pop this open and see we have the dual battery variation. So the bike does run on 48 volts. Each one of these batteries has 1,440 watt hours of energy. And since we have both batteries, that means we get the big 6 kilowatt power output and more weight and more range. So it's got a somewhat interesting strap here for the batteries. I guess this is to help keep them in place. Look at the gauge of that wire, holy smokes. So apparently these straps, you actually need to strap this battery in place. And it looks like we need a key to remove the battery. I don't know where the key is though. Interesting pedals. It's almost like this thing isn't intended to be pedaled. Ah, there's the goods. So right down here on bottom, is this the one? Why is this not? I'm really confused. So I want to get this battery out of here. So I guess let's just lift the whole bike out of here. Definitely got some weight to it. So part of the weight of this bike is these absolutely enormously thick tires. These are like the thickest tires I've ever seen on an electric bike. It's got a somewhat interesting tread pattern too. Made by Segway. Handlebars on. So up on the handlebars, we can see the brakes are straight up motorcycle brakes. And I'll show you the calipers in just a minute, but it's got a steering lock I can't figure out yet. And I'm super pumped to see that we just have a straight up full twist throttle on the right. The best kind of throttle. Looking at the controls is very similar to the Segway scooters. Looks like we get a power button, some mode options, and there is a scroll wheel. I've never seen this on an e-bike. Light options. And a bell. Was not expecting that on this kind of machine. Display also looks somewhat interesting. Check it out in a moment. Up on the front, it's nice to see that we get a USB as well as USB-C charger for cell phones and stuff. So the suspension on the front does not appear to have any sort of adjustments, but it is a dual crown fork with some really thick stanchions, and it is inverted front suspension, which is the best kind. And I'm glad to see it does have a through axle, the best kind. So I've just been searching forever to find a place to unlock the steering column, but apparently that is something that is like digital, part of like a anti-theft measures. So taking a look at the brakes down here, we can see it has 4 piston calipers, and the rotors are just absolutely massive. Around back, we get a single piston caliper, and the rotor is a little bit smaller. This is actually really typical for motorcycles because like 70% of your stopping power is in front, so this is fine. Then on the back wheel, we have the giant 6,000 watts peak hub motor. Here's another look at that hub motor from the other side. And while we're here, we can see there are no gears on this thing, just a single speed for pedaling. It's also got this removable fender. It says it's removable. And underneath the seat, we have a coil monoshock. So on this shock, apparently you can adjust this clip. It's got like 5 little grooves here. You can basically rotate this and adjust the suspension. And here is a look at the seat. It also has a passenger seat on the back. It's pretty wide, feels fairly firm. Got a little X on the back, as well as an X on the front, as well as your headlight. And I'm making a mess in here. Warning stickers come off nice and easy. And we're gonna power this thing on in just a minute. Just wanna show you the charger real quick. It is a 10 amp charger. Charges up to 54.2 volts. And here is the charge port connector to put on one battery. But it also comes with this splitter, so it connects into here and you can charge both batteries at the same time, which would be charging basically each one at a 5 amp charge rate. So each one of those battery packs is a 30 amp hour battery pack. If you're charging one battery at a time, it would take 3 hours to charge. But if you're using the splitter to charge both at the same time, then you're looking at about 6 hours to charge the whole thing from empty to full, which isn't too bad at all. I actually just want to try this. You can easily access both charge ports. Just connects right on. So you never need to take these batteries out and plug it in. Oh, it makes a little noise. And we do have a fan on there to keep things cool. This is definitely a much higher quality charger than we see on a lot of bikes on this channel. All right, so to get the battery off, all you gotta do is turn the key all the way counterclockwise. It's a little tricky, you just gotta kind of get back on the other side of it. Ugh. Kind of shake it free because this is a big boy. ×2 of those. So let's take a look at it. Well, pretty much the same thing we could see when it's on the bike. 1440 watt hours, 48 volt, designed by Segway. Really, the reason I wanted to take it off is so we can get a weigh-in on the battery. One of these things weighs 23.6 pounds, so we got 2 of these. So it's nice that you can remove these batteries in case you need to pick the bike up, or for whatever reason you need to take them off, you can. What I want to take them off for, so I can actually weigh this bike, we'll subtract my weight of 192. And this is gonna suck, but I'm gonna try and do it. So I'm gonna do my best to just kind of stand on the scale and then pick this bike up, do my deadlifts for the day. Oh, 317 we'll call it. Oh, bike says. The bike is not happy with me trying to pick it up, even without the batteries on there. So interesting to see those alarms and stuff still work without batteries. Alexa, what's 317 minus 192.2? So basically 125 pounds for just the bike, no batteries. So 171 pounds for the entire bike and both batteries. So let's turn it on, see what happens here. We need to use a password. I don't know what that would be. Let's just try all zeros. Nope. 4 more attempts. Well, I guess I set off the alarm. So we'll figure out how to get this thing powered up in a minute. Let's see how it feels to get on. So it does have this anti-theft feature. Yeah, it's like blocking up the rear wheel, vibrating it a little bit, and the steering wheel is locked. So yeah, let's just hop on here, see how it feels. Rear suspension actually feels pretty soft. Feels good actually. Same goes with the front suspension. I think we need to get the app or something. Seat feels pretty comfy. And here's what my riding position is like at 6'5". Inseam 34. Short crank arms. I like the short crank arms because we're not gonna be pedaling this thing anyway, so it just helps kind of keep your feet like pretty close together. I'm gonna try all ones this time. Hey, all ones worked. What a guess. Looks like I just put it in race mode. All right, so check it out. Here's the display. It is a color display. Pretty, it's kind of small, which is fine. It's good. Shows us our battery percentage, our assist level. I think when you put the kickstand down, it might put it in park. Oh yeah, safety feature. So it's got this orange background and then a Bluetooth connection. You can do the app. So a pretty unique way to adjust stuff here. That adjusts your assist level, kind of turning up the power, I guess. But we also have the modes here. So you just kind of rotate that to change your mode. And we have race mode, sport mode, and eco mode, and park. Simple enough. I think there's a boost mode of some sort too. Also on the handlebars, we have a place to connect some mirrors if you want to do motorcycle mirrors. Let's try the horn. Pretty high pitched, pretty loud. Yeah, my ears are ringing. And with the headlight on, you get this light on down here. And then on the rear, we get this X. And when you grab the brake lever, it lights up a little brighter. So for as motorcycly as this thing looks, there are no turn signals. But real quick, just want to show you this side of the bike. And looking closer at this motor, it does say 48V, which it is 48 volts. And it says 750. Is that trying to trick people into thinking this is a 750 watt motor? Then obviously no gears or anything, but it does have this little tensioner and a tiny little chain ring up front because we ain't using these things anyway. Yeah, suspension is real soft. And front suspension. All right, dudes, let's cyber. Wait, that didn't sound right. So we do have the dual batteries on this one for increased range and power. We'll check our official range, see what kind of battery we have left at the end of this ride. So Segway does have an app. Let's link this thing up. Search and connect. Oh yeah, it comes right up. As expected, Segway is a pretty established company. Press the power button. Oh yeah. Super, super quick and seamless. Oh, we get a little reboot. So now we get a QR code there. Sophisticated sounding piece of machinery. Oh, then we get to set our password, honking flashlights. You can do the airlock. So there's a bunch of stuff in here. We'll do what we need to. Mostly I'm concerned about what this bike is like to ride. So starting out on eco mode, Let's give it a try. Whoa, I just had to put my feet on motorcycle pegs. What am I thinking, bro? We are on a bicycle.
So you know what time it is. Let's give this thing a rip up the 20% grade.
I like that it has the kickstand safety feature. You have to have the kickstand up, takes out of park. And then we do get, you know, eco mode, and then like 5 levels on eco mode. And then you adjust the big time modes over here. Eco, sport, and race. So we'll just throw it on the absolute maximum settings as far as I know. But let's just give it a rip and see how it goes. All right, yeah, so a lot of torque. That was showing 15 miles an hour, ripping up the 20% grade. Despite the weight of this thing, it is feeling quite peppy. And I gotta tell you, man, first impressions on this thing, this is an absolute vibe, man. Like, this bike just feels so cool to be on. The width of these tires and just like the style of this bike, I'm loving it so far. Feels pretty comfy. All right, so what we're gonna do is put this down onto eco mode, pedal assist 1. Give it a little bit of throttle. Gotta love the, is that an El Camino with a dirt bike in the back over there? So in eco mode, with throttle, I mean, it's getting us up to like 14 real easy. So let's see like about the pedal assist system on here. So yes, it does have pedals. Now this bike, as we measured, weighs like 170 pounds. If your batteries were to die, you're gonna be absolutely screwed. You might as well just get off and push this thing. Let's see if we can just turn all the assistance off and pedal a little bit. Nah, not really. Maybe if you are Lance Armstrong or Arnold Schwarzenegger, but eco mode. Now there are no gears. It's just a single speed. Yeah, so it'll let you be super chill, actually. Throttle allows you to access that power more easily. Crank arms are pretty short, which I actually think is excellent on a bike like this, because 1, you're not gonna be pedaling it really. 2, makes it so your knees don't pop way up to like your chin for every pedal stroke. And 3, you get a little more ground clearance. So, I mean, not to say that there's a lot of ground clearance on these crank arms, but it's better than if the crank arms were longer. So that's gonna be about the extent of our pedaling for the day. Obviously, this is pretty much a motorcycle. Loving the full twist throttle. The whole thing feels real balanced. Like, we're just chilling, bro. All right, so just stopped to throw on the good old polarized shades, and I'm relieved to see that the screen is visible through polarized shades. It'll go into park on you. That's a really cool safety feature, man. I really like the thought, profession, the excellence of Segway. All right, so let's just see what it'll do on just throttle here on eco mode. Looks like it's just kind of doing right around, pulls 27, 28, 29, wow, 30. So this thing gets going, man. I feel like this thing is actually pretty approachable for like a newbie. Sport mode, yeah, you get a little more juice. Yeah. So first impressions, man, this feels like this is just gonna be an absolute awesome day. Comfort feels good. The seat seems nice, you know, that monoshock seems good. And this thing just cruising in like complete silence. On sport mode, it looks like it tops out right around 34. Then we have one more mode, race mode. Let's take it off road just a little bit here. Obviously, this isn't really an off-roading bike, but taking it out here, even on 46 PSI in the tires, really doesn't feel too bad. 46 PSI was the recommended. Yeah, it's fine, but I mean, not where you're gonna be riding this thing likely, although it is a off-road only kind of bike due to its power. So that's not on race mode. I think there's also a boost mode, but oh yeah, that gives you a little more zip off the line, man. So I think this must be a direct drive motor because it's completely silent. I don't hear any sort of noise coming from the motor, and gets us right up to 35. You can just kind of feel it, just like cuts power right at 35. Easily gets up to 35. Considering the top speed on this bike and that it has dual batteries, the amount of watt hours in this battery, we should genuinely get some absolutely insane range out of this thing. And I think it has regen brake. Going around turns, man, I mean, it just feels like a motorcycle. It's got some weight to it, man. But at the same time, like the center of mass is like pretty low because where those batteries are mounted down low. Dude, this thing is awesome. I guess it is a little pricey at, I think it's 3,300 bucks for this bike with one battery, and then $900 or $1,000 more if you want both batteries. So if you do want to grab one of these and support the channel, click on that link below the video, buy through that link, it would support my channel and reviews, and I appreciate y'all's support. Let's try a 0 to 20 rip on this thing. So getting out here on the bike path, a Harley Davidson e-bike there. I don't know, it just doesn't feel quite as appropriate as some of the e-bikes I bring out here, I guess, due to the way it looks. So it looks like when we're on sport mode, it does not show the little boost thing up there, but when I rotate it, and then race mode comes up and it does show boost. All right, so let's do a 0 to 20 rip, race mode, and there's my GPS speedometer. It'll lag just a bit. Here's the onboard. They say 0 to 20 in what, 2.7 seconds? 200-pound rider on this, so we'll go off this speedometer and we'll just go to 20 and let off. Ready, go. Oh yeah, kicks on hard, man. And 20. So that's why we're stopping at 20. But yeah, man, I don't know if that was 2.7 seconds, but it accelerates pretty hard. Now, you know, it doesn't like try to pop a wheelie on you. So the front end is not coming off the ground. So it's like a quick accelerating bike. It almost feels like, you know, direct drive like. Let's do that one more time. Ready, go. So yeah, you're under control. 20. So very like rideable electric bike. Some of these extremely torquey bikes I try are almost like annoyingly torquey, and like the way this throttle delivers the power feels like you have pretty good control over it actually. All right, so I'm seeing how that boost mode works now. Like it'll light up green basically as I floor it. So when you're on race mode, it just activates boost mode and then it's kind of like throttle based. So watch, I'm gonna floor it now. And I couldn't see exactly what it was doing down there, but it basically alternates between like an orange and a green light. All right, so we're gonna go play at the beach in a minute, but I just wanna give it a real quick 0 to top speed run. Ready, go, on boost mode. 20, 30. And it gets up to top speed like real quick. And then like you just basically plateau at 34, 35 miles an hour, which honestly, you don't need to be going faster than that anyway. And by only going this fast, this is really gonna maximize your range, like big time. Once if you start going 40, 45, 47 miles an hour, it just takes exponentially more power to hold those higher speeds. So with both batteries, I could see this genuinely being just like an insane range and comfy, cool looking electric bike. So it looks to be a pretty vibrant day out here at the beach. Let's go try it on the sand here in a bit. We'll talk more about the torque. Let's just stop, no ABS, and see if we can do a burnout. Oh yeah, a little burnout on here on the sand. It does have the brake cutoff sensors, and we have front brake on the left, bicycle style. So yeah, brake cutoff sensors. No burnouts unless we unplug it or just hold it back. Dude, the size of these tires is just wild. So the width of these tires has me speculating about whether or not I'll be able to actually ride out on the sand. Like, it doesn't feel like an insanely high torque for riding in the sand kind of bike, but a lot of times the problem is the tire just sinks into the sand, but this tire is so wide, even running 46 PSI, we might be able to do it. I mean, they say 6,000 watts peak. So let's just follow the normal route here and just pop off here and do a full throttle. Oh, that's interesting. So like the tires are like a super like street tread. So like I could feel, they weren't like biting into the sand. Suspension's fine going over this, but like the tires are so wide, it's just like a balloon floating on top, and no problem on the sand there, going up the hill for a short blast. I don't know, it's my first ride. They say 112 miles with both batteries.
The problem with it,
what?
You only one-wheel drive. Mine's all-wheel drive. I go on the sand.
Oh, I'm gonna try this one on the sand
too.
too.
Can't do it on the sand.
Maybe, I don't know. I did a little rip. Dual motor and the tall, like knobby wheels are definitely, that's a ticket. I'm gonna give it a try. Yeah, it's not meant to ride on the sand, but I'm gonna give it a try. Like
because you don't have front wheel drive, you won't be able to go very far.
Well, you'd be surprised. There are some bikes that I ride, they will ride on the sand with just one motor. I have this one, it's called the Magician Alpha. It's a 72 volt bike. It'll go 30 miles an hour ripping through the sand on single motor. At the end of the day, it's all about the wattage for sure. But I agree, dual motor is by far like the best way to do it.
Yeah, because you want to pull and push.
Yeah, exactly. What's up, man? Nice to meet you. I'm doing a little review on this one right now.
Dude, this one's nice. How fast does it go?
It actually only goes 35. It's kind of designed more for like range, I think. Just look at the size of the tires on this thing.
They're monsters.
I know, it's nice, man. What's happening? How's it going? You gotta try this one, man.
You reviewed a Segway before, no?
It's a Segway scooter.
Did you go to Electrify Expo?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and I watched like the crazy dirt bike guys.
Oh my God.
That was
Did
insane.
you see those guys jumping?
Yeah.
The surrounds?
I couldn't believe.
I've never seen. I was like, oh my God.
I couldn't.
Getting higher than the light post.
I know, and it's like a concrete, like, you know, area around
built
there.
to land on?
Well, they were landing on that air
I guess
pad
so,
thing,
but
it was just like,
they were pro riders.
yeah, it was just like if you miss that thing,
Yeah,
my
oh
God.
my God, splat.
And I did the Mustang Mach-E like drift session thing. That's pretty fun.
I did that in San Francisco.
Okay.
I did that drift thing in San Francisco. Same thing.
Yeah.
So tell me about this. What do I need to do?
Just put it on race mode and rip it.
Oh my God, nice suspension.
I know, it's pretty soft, isn't it? Oh yeah, I'll probably put the helmet on. There you go. Safety first. So Ron is trying out Segway Xyber. He's got about 5 to 10 e-bikes himself. What do you think, man?
I mean, the crank arms are comical. So you can't pedal, but it's a good little commuter. It's
30
for somebody. It's for somebody.
A little pricey. $3,300 is what they sell it for with one battery. This is Santa Monica Close-Up. He's got a YouTube channel too. You do. This is Ron.
Yeah, Ron.
I just built this one a couple days ago.
Hard to build?
It actually wasn't too bad. You just pretty much had to put the handlebars on and the front fender. Pretty minimal assembly. Yeah, I'll show you when you get on there. Yeah, full twist throttle.
Shocks feel pretty good.
Yeah, I know. Pretty soft rear suspension, right? It's a busy day out here.
Yeah. Summer's finally here.
He's pedaling it. Dude's got the wheelie going. He's got a smile.
Wow, that was cool.
You like it?
I like it. I mean, it has a lot of acceleration. Like when you want to pass, when you give it, it goes. Unlike mine, it doesn't have that torque.
Okay,
And,
yeah.
and the pedals were surprisingly, I thought it was pretty good. When I pedaled it, it was engaged where, I'm getting a workout.
I didn't even really try the pedals too much, so that's interesting.
They work pretty good. You could definitely get exercise on it.
Maybe at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Beyond that, it doesn't have any gears, so.
Yeah.
But you probably are only going about 5 or 10 out here.
You can't get it going too fast yet, but when I wanted to pass somebody, when I give it, it picked up.
Okay.
Solid feeling too, and the brakes felt pretty good too.
Yeah, I think it's like legit like motorcycle brakes pretty much.
No, I like it. Very solid. It'd be interesting to see how it does on the sand. Are the batteries easy to get out of there? Or
they're actually a pain in the ass to get out.
I mean, that's a good brand, right? Segway.
That's what I'm saying. Like it feels like a quality build to me. You can really see this thing's like a step above like a lot of the competition.
I definitely like that acceleration.
They say 0 to 20 in 2.7 seconds.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's accurate, but it feels quick, like you're saying.
It might not have that top speed, but it has a torque, which is important.
And yeah, exactly. And since it doesn't have a super high top speed and dual batteries, that means you're going to get long range.
What, 100 miles maybe?
They say 112. Oh my God, 46 PSI is not the ticket. Let's see if this thing can ride in the sand. I just popped straight off the seat there, and there's a huge hole in the sand coming up here, so we're gonna have to get around this and full throttle. So I can really feel like the big wide tires on this thing are helping it get through. Now this, they don't have a lot of tread for like, this kind of riding, but the tires are so wide that we just kind of float right along the top. Now it'll be interesting to see. Oh gosh, there's a big wave coming up. It's kind of cruising. This is not the ideal place to be riding this, but let's see if we can actually make it up. Bit of a rollout, and I can feel like the rear tire's just a little squirmy there. But it's actually powering right through. I can hear the motor making a bit of noise. So I'm actually really surprised. It's actually able to do it, but it doesn't feel like super happy about it necessarily. Oh, and with these tires on 46 PSI, like the suspension feels smooth riding on the street, but not. I don't know, man. We just hit like the wrong resonancy there or something. So it did much better than I was expecting for riding on the sand, and obviously just not probably intended to be ridden like that, but it does give you an indication of how much power it has. So that's cool. So I actually want to try and give it one more blast through the sand here. Ready, go! Yeah, you gotta make sure it's pointed straight when you take off.
And this is some real soft sand that's making it through, but you can tell it's not like thrilled about doing it, but those wide tires, man, makes it work. So just rolling up on the pier here, we are at 87% remaining, and we're gonna go try the California incline. And this thing does have regen brakes, so we'll test the brakes here in just a few. It's a party out here. So let's give it a go on the California incline, 12% grade, 85-foot climb. So we do have it on race mode, max power level. We're just gonna have to kind of, you know, ease on the throttle here. Obviously it's got plenty of juice to, we're gonna slow down a bit here. And yeah, so it's nice that even on race mode we have like good throttle control and then full throttle. Yeah. So from the base of the California incline, hopping aboard here, we are at 85% battery, and we'll go full throttle now. Off to the races on race mode, 20 miles an hour, and yeah, 20, 31, 33, it's hitting top speed, basically halfway up the California incline. I just let off. So this thing gets up to top speed very quickly, and we just like coasted up this thing basically from halfway. A lot of momentum, a lot of mass on this, you know, 170-ish pounds with both batteries. What up?
Remember us from last weekend at
Yeah. Small world. Dude, it actually like went across the sand.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
That's amazing.
It's a lot of fun. I think this one with dual batteries is like 4,300. 2 batteries is 6,000 watts peak.
So that will carry you up this hill probably 35.
Dude, it maxed out at 35 like halfway on the hill, and I just let off, so.
That is amazing.
And then it weighs so much, the momentum just carried it the rest of the way.
Oh, bro, man.
So real big brakes on this, and as mentioned, we have the regen brake. So all you gotta do is just tap on the brake levers a little bit, and you can feel the regen brake kick in. And theoretically, you know, that adds a little bit of range back in the battery, but realistically, it's mostly just gonna be saving you on brake pads. But the brakes on this bike, they feel actually really good, fantastic. As expected from a big company like Segway, they are clearly taking their, you know, safety and build quality into concern, whereas we don't see that on every electric bike I review on this channel. So in addition to the regen brake, you know, it has basically real motorcycle brakes, 4-piston, hydraulics on front, dual pistons on the rear with a larger rotor on the front, and you really just feel in full control of this bike. And with that super wide tire, it really puts all that negative power down into the concrete very concretely. That is cheating, dude. So let's give it a brake test here from about top-ish speed. That's like 32, and just kind of getting on the brakes nice and easy and not hard. Yeah, dude, these brakes are the bomb. Which really, on a bike this heavy, you really do need some good brakes, man. 170 pounds with both batteries. That's a lot of weight, bro. And then with that regen brake, you just kind of pull them in just a little bit, and you feel that regen, and then you can lock them up pretty good. No ABS though. I mean, it is an electric bicycle. They don't have ABS on this quite yet. Maybe one day soon. So it does have a couple other features in here, including music as well as navigation. So you can activate the navigation in the app as well as, I guess, the music, and the app can also track the location of where we're at. So it does show we're in Santa Monica. So let's go ahead and just try this navigation. Display navigation on dashboard. So wow, yeah, it actually shows, gives us actual directions on, it says turn left in 170 feet, so that's pretty cool. Then we have a little speedometer down there as well. So we're gonna head on home. I'll share my final thoughts on this thing along the way. We'll use the navigation, see how that works. So list price of this bike with one battery is right around 3,300 bucks. If you want the second battery, it does cost more. I think it's about 900 or 1,000 bucks if you want another battery. So if you do decide this is the electric bike for you, if you buy through that link down below the video, it would help support my reviews, and I greatly appreciate your support. Might have a little discount code down there for you as well. So what are my final thoughts on this bike? I mean, it's pretty much like a little electric motorcycle with pedals, and it's just a vibe to be on, man. Like, this thing's actually pretty darn comfortable. I actually really like the seat. It's kind of rounds over nicely. Theoretically, you could have a passenger on there, I guess, but the suspension is good for street riding. I mean, this thing just feels real smooth being on riding on street surfaces. And you know, that 0 to 20 number, 2.7 seconds, is kind of like one of their big claims. I don't know if it hits that or not, but this thing gets up and goes pretty good. You know, it's not like popping the wheel off the ground, but like it's like commuter level power. It's like you really don't need to go any faster in this, and it genuinely feels like we would get like really, really good range out of this, because right now it is showing 82% remaining on the battery. We'll see exactly where we are when we get home. Essentially 2,900 watt hours of battery on tap. And since it only goes 35 miles an hour, you're not gonna really be burning through those batteries like crazy fast. I love that it has the full twist throttle, and it just feels like a really solid built bike. I mean, it's not the cheapest electric bike out there, let's be honest. And if you're looking for something to actually pedal and get exercise, absolutely this is a horrible choice considering how short the crank arms are, and there's only, you know, one gear, no gears, and it weighs 170 pounds. So I mean, what bicycle can you pedal that weighs that much? Although if you did have one battery, it would weigh a little bit less. If you want something that just cruise on, you know, 25, 35 miles an hour in comfort with a quality build and probably get some pretty darn good range, this is probably not a bad option at all, coming from a big brand like Segway. So that's pretty much my final thoughts. Let's see where we end up on range. So the motor on this thing is just happy cruising at like 30. It does top out at like 34, 35, but it just feels like I can go 30 all day long, man. And one last comment about this bike before we look at final range. The tires on this thing are great, man. Like the shape of them, and I think it said like DOT on the side, like Department of Transportation. These just, I feel like more fast e-bikes need to be going to tires that are kind of more like this. It's like, they just feel like they were meant for like actually riding fast and on the street. And then the other thing I noticed is like a lot of times like riding on painted lines feels really goofy on e-bike tires for some reason. This one does not feel that way at all. So this is just genuinely, I don't know, a really cool riding experience on this. And you know, if you have the money and you're looking for something like this, I think you'll be happy with it. But let's take a look at the final range for today. So the battery is showing 75% remaining, and we are on the dual battery setup. And pulling up our official range, we're just rolling up on about 17.5 miles. We were out there for hour, 23 minutes, averaging 12.62 miles an hour. So we consumed about 25% of the battery over the course of about 18 miles. All around, super awesome experience riding this Segway bike. If you do want to grab one, use that link down below the video if you'd like to support my reviews on this channel. However, if this is not the kind of electric bike you're looking for, check this video out, bro. Catch you over there.